The Book of Jubilees, chapter 48. And in the 6th year of the 3rd week of the 49th Jubilee, thou didst depart and dwell in the land of Midian 5 weeks in 1 year. And thou didst return into Egypt in the 2nd week, in the 2nd year, in the 15th Jubilee. And thou thyself knowest what he spake unto thee on Mount Sinai, and what Prince Mastema desired to do with thee when thou was returning into Egypt on the way, when thou didst meet him at the lodging place. Did he not with all his power seek to slay thee and deliver the Egyptians out of thine hand, when he saw that thou was sent to execute judgment and vengeance on the Egyptians? And I deliverest thee out of his hand, and thou didst perform the signs and wonders which thou wast sent to perform in Egypt against Pharaoh and against all his house, and against his servants and his people. And the Most High executed a great vengeance on them for Israel's sake, and smote them through the plagues of blood, and frogs, lice, and dog flies, and malignant boils breaking forth in blains, and their cattle by death, and by hailstones. Thereby he destroyed everything that grew for them, and by locusts which devoured the residue which had been left by the hail, and by darkness, and by the death of the firstborn of men and animals, and on all their idols. The Most High took vengeance and burned them with fire. And everything was sent through thy hand, and thou shouldest declare these things before they were done. And thou didst speak with the king of Egypt before all his servants and before his people. And everything took place according to thy words. 10 great and terrible judgments came on the land of Egypt, that thou mightest execute vengeance of it for Israel. And the Most High did everything for Israel's sake, and according to his covenant, which he had ordained with Abraham, that he would take vengeance on them as they had brought them by force into bondage. And the prince of the Mastema stood up against thee, and sought to cast thee into the hands of Pharaoh. And he helped the Egyptian sorcerers, and they stood up and wrought before thee. The evils, indeed, were permitted them to work, but the remedies we did not allow to be wrought by their hands. And the Most High smote them with malignant ulcers, and they were not able to stand, for we destroyed them, so that they could not perform a single sign. And notwithstanding all these signs and wonders, the prince of the Mastema was not put to shame, because he took courage and cried to the Egyptians to pursue after thee with all the powers of the Egyptians, with their chariots and with their horses, and with all the hosts of the peoples of Egypt. And I stood between the Egyptians and Israel, and we delivered Israel out of his hand, and out of the hand of his people. And the Most High brought them through the midst of the sea, as if it were dry land. And all the peoples whom we brought to pursue after Israel, the Most High our power cast them into the midst of the sea, into the depths of the abyss beneath the children of Israel, even as the people of Egypt had cast their children into the river. He took vengeance on 1,000,000 of them, and 1,000 strong and energetic men were destroyed on account of one suckling of the children of thy people, which they had thrown into the river. And on the 14th day, and on the 15th, and on the 16th, and on the 17th, and on the 18th, the prince of the Mastema was bound and imprisoned behind the children of Israel, that he might not accuse them. And on the 19th, we let them loose, that they might help the Egyptians and pursue the children of Israel. And he hardened his hearts and made them stubborn. And the device was devised by the Most High our power, that he might smite the Egyptians and cast them into the sea. And on the 14th, we bound him, that he might not accuse the children of Israel on the day When they asked the Egyptians for vessels and garments, vessels of silver and vessels of gold and vessels of bronze, in order to despoil the Egyptians in return for the bondage in which they had forced them to serve. And we did not lead forth the children of Israel from Egypt empty-handed. Hold up. Bro, I gotta clap it up for the holy archangel that narrated that chapter, bro. You know what I'm saying? The same holy archangel that's narrating the whole story to Moses. You know what I'm saying? But this last sentence, I mean, it just felt so powerful. Cause it was kind of like, y'all ever seen that movie? I don't know if it's Goodfellas. It's one of the mafia movie. I think it's Goodfellas. Where basically it's The Godfather, my bad. Where basically the Godfather says, we're gonna make you an offer that you can't refuse. And that's what I got off of the last sentence in this powerful chapter of chapter 48 of the Book of Jubilees. In the last verse, and we did not lead forth the children of Israel from Egypt empty-handed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't leave out empty-handed. You feel me? Like, how do you think they had so much gold to make that wicked, abominable golden calf? You know what I'm saying? When they were in the wilderness. How do you think they got all that gold? That gold was the same gold they got from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? That gold was supposed to be our heritage for generation and generations to come. We were supposed to be holy men of Israel and holy princesses of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And wear gold, have gold chains, gold jewelry. That was supposed to be us. You know what I'm saying? But from our transgression, all that gold was lost. You know what I'm saying? To that golden calf. Because the Most High destroyed that. But yeah, the book of Exodus is one of my favorite stories in the whole Bible. You know, the whole story of how the Most High got the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, you know what I'm saying, by his hand. He used Moses, but it was ultimately the Most High's hand that caused all those supernatural events. And again, y'all, like, I just don't understand, like, how our forefathers and foremothers, how they just allowed themselves to be in the wilderness and cause Aaron to create that wicked, abominable golden calf. Like, how did they not let those supernatural events that they saw while exiting Egypt, how did they not let that sink into their soul? Like, hold on, like, Moses has to have assistance and help of doing this. He's not doing this alone. So who's helping him? The Most High. And I just say that to say this, Israel. You know, history repeats itself, and I truly believe in all my heart. Now, I'm not a prophet. This is not a prophecy. This is just something that I believe, one of my beliefs that I know is going to happen, because it was prophesied in the Bible that we're going to escape Egypt again. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a second Exodus out of here. The first Egypt was the actual Egypt. The second Egypt is Babylon. You know what I'm saying? AKA, you already know where Babylon is. I'm not going to say it on here, but you know where Babylon is. And I truly believe just how the Most High got us out of Egypt and he caused Moses to split the Red Sea is going to be a supernatural event to the magnitude of that times 100. Because this is going to be the final, like, hoorah. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High has to go all out. Because after this is not going to be nothing else greater than this event. This event is going to be the event of events when the Son of Man returns. Because the Most High is going to be able to use the Son of Man and basically afflict all the righteous judgment through the Son of Man. So yeah, like I say, I think it's going to be another event that's going to get us from here, Babylon, all the way to Egypt. You know know what I'm saying? We can't swim from there. We can't swim the Atlantic. So what do you think is going to happen to the Atlantic? I believe the same thing that happened to the Red Sea. My personal belief is that that same thing is going to happen to the Atlantic Ocean. You know what I'm saying? To get us back to the motherland of Israel. Because you have to understand also, y'all, that most of these luminaries and most of these elements, aka like plots of land, they actually have feelings. You know what I'm saying? Prime example, the motherland of Israel is going through she's mad right now. Just that land, the land mass itself is mad because the Israelites are not there to populate that land. Whoever's in Israel right now, I don't know who that is, but I'm talking about the Israelites of the Bible. They're not there right now. So I believe until the Israelites, the righteous Israelites of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob finally are able to come back to the homeland of Israel and finally be able to populate Israel by having kids in Israel, you know what I'm saying, planting seeds in Israel to create fertile land. Because I bet the land in Israel probably isn't even as fertile as it could and should be. You know what I'm saying? When the children of Israel finally touch back down to Israel at the right time, that's the key thing. Because a lot of us Israelites, we like to rush things. We like to rush the Most High. That's why a lot of our forefathers got destroyed back in biblical times, because we were too stubborn and hard-headed, and we wanted to do things on our time. It's never on our time. It's always on the Most High's time. It doesn't matter how long it takes. The children of Israel that was in the wilderness with Moses, it took them 40 years before they saw the promised land. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 years to the Most High is one day. So how do you think the Most High's perspective of time, space is compared to ours? You know what I'm saying? A year to the Most High is probably 1 second, bro. Come on, we got to think further and deeper in depth. So with that being said, y'all, I truly believe, again, it is going to be a second Exodus, but to the righteous, only the righteous will be protected through that time, throughout that second Exodus. With that being said, all praise to the power of the Son of Man, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Father, I am that I am, and his only begotten Son, the Son of Man, to finally come and save the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All praise, Israel. Keep your head up in spiritual Jacob's trouble. Shalom.